The scars for our families were real. The costs are enormous, financially, emotionally, and people can lose their lives because one person messes up. Somebody's going to get killed.
A false alarm alerting police to a school shooting in Licking County nearly 2 years ago is still fresh in the mind of the superintendent. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for NBC4 at 11. I'm Colleen Marshall.
I'm Kerry Charles. That call was just one of hundreds of swatting calls made each year. Now the FBI is searching for a suspect from Columbus who they say made half a dozen of these calls.
NBC4's Kyle Beachy reports from the Hollywood Casino, where police responded to a swatting call just a few months ago.
The FBI is asking for the public's help in locating the most recent addition to their most wanted list, 18-year-old Braden Grace. He's accused of calling 911 in January and demanding cash, or he said he would set off a bomb here at Hollywood Casino. Braden Grace is wanted for swatting. That's sending a false threat, inciting a response from law enforcement. The FBI says he's been seen in the area of Morse Road and Carl Road, but also has ties to Lima. Hollywood Casino is one of 6 swatting calls Grace and 2 co-conspirators are accused of making between December 10th and January 18th, all in different parts of the country. Those on the other end of that call know the all-too-real panic that sets in.
Our kids just know they're in a level 3 lockdown, and they're in there with their teachers, and they haven't heard any gunshots, but they think there's an active shooter, and they're saying goodbye. They're saying, I don't know that I'll ever see you again. I love you. That's real. I mean, that just, people can say it was fake, it didn't really happen. No, that part really happened.
Swatting hit Licking Valley High School in September 2022. Superintendent Scott Beery saw the massive response from local law enforcement.
We had 50 people in our building within 10 minutes. Within 20 minutes, we had over 100 police officers.
A drain to resources meant to protect the community, but also a drain on those in the buildings.
This comes at an incredible emotional cost for our kids and families, but it does, numerically too.
Since that day, it's been a learning experience. The school invested in new radio systems and came up with a plan to manage traffic.
Had that been a real incident, we couldn't have got an ambulance to the school. The roads were blocked.
Those threats were empty, but the consequences for actions can come in full force. Governor DeWine signed a law in 2023 making swatting a felony in Ohio.
If we can find people that do the swatting, they do need to be punished to the full extent of it, because the pain that they cause it's real.
I talked to the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office today. They tell me they have filed 1 indictment for swatting, and it was just last month. Local for you in Columbus, I'm Kyle Beachy, NBC4.
And as Kyle mentioned, swatting is a felony. Here in Ohio, House Bill 462 signed into law just last year, declaring that anyone who reports false or misleading information to a law enforcement agency, emergency service provider, or public safety agency can be found guilty of a 4th-degree felony. It carries a sentence of 6 to 18 months in prison. If a person is hurt, it becomes a 2nd-degree felony with a prison sentence of up to 5 years. Those convicted can also be held liable for the reimbursement of law enforcement resources that were used to respond to the false threat.